Hi everyone, this is the Chapter 1 test review for Algebra 1B, and so in this video I'm just going to work through the problems that are listed here in your packet. You are welcome to watch the whole thing beginning to end if you want to, or you can skip around to the specific questions that you feel like you need some help with, whatever works best for you. So let's start with number 1. Number 1 gives us a formula, and then it tells us to find D when n is equal to 17. Well, a problem like this one is really just asking us to take this value for n and plug it in for n here and here. So that's going to look like this. So D will equal 17 times the quantity 17 minus 3, all divided by 2. Now here's the thing, a lot of people in a problem like this want to take this 17 and distribute it, which is fine. It's perfectly fine to do that. That's exactly how you would use the distributive property. But you don't have to do that, and I find that that is a place where people make some mistakes. Really, remember, you could start by just doing the parentheses and making that a 14. So you can make this 17 times 14 divided by 2. And let's see, that should give us 119. So that's our value for D, is 119. Okay, number 2, very similar type of question. It gives you a formula here, D equals 1/2 GT squared. And it says find D when G equals 32 feet per second squared and T equals 2.5 seconds. Now, in terms of the problem that this type of formula would be used in, these units are important. But in terms of what they're asking us to do right here, where they're just asking for a calculation, you actually don't need these units. Don't let those mess you up. Okay, I get a lot of people who get bogged down by those. What you really need to know is that G is equal to 32 and T is equal to 2.5. So to find this answer, I'm going to do D equals 1/2 times 32 times 2.5 squared. The other thing you want to watch out for with this is to be careful with your order of operations. If you were going to try to do this by hand and not just plug it into a calculator, which I actually recommend with a problem like this that you just put it straight into a calculator, because your calculator will take care of those order of operation issues. But some people want to do the 1/2 times 32 times 2.5 and then square the whole thing. Well, the way this problem is written, only the T is getting squared. Okay, so you want to make sure that that square is only being applied to the 2.5. Let me get an answer for that real quick. Oh, and that comes out to a nice, even 100. Okay, moving on. Same kind of thing with number 3. Evaluate 20,000 times 0.9 to the power of n when n equals 10. So in my calculator, and this is a question I got a lot, you want to do 20,000 times 0.9 to the power of 10. And in your calculator, the button you want to hit to go to the power looks like this. So if you type that into your calculator just as it's written there, let's see, you should get I end up with, sorry, I'm trying to look at two screens here, 6973, so 6,973, and it says to the nearest hundredth, so I'm going to round that off at 0.57. Okay, number 4 and number 5, and really number 6 too. This notation, remember, is function notation. So when I say f of 4, what I'm really saying is what is the value of this function when the variable is equal to 4. So I'm telling you to plug a 4 in place of x. So f of 4 would be 2 times 4 minus 3. Well, that's just 8 minus 3, so that's 5 as a final answer. Similar thing here in number 5, you're just taking the -2 and putting it in place of n. Be careful about how you're typing this one into a calculator. To find t of -2, I would type in 5 minus 4. And remember, when you're squaring a negative number, to put it in parentheses. Okay, so that's exactly how I would type it into my calculator. If you're going to do it by hand, be careful. You cannot do the 5 minus 4 first, because this 4 is being multiplied by this, so you can't combine it with the 5. Okay, you would have to do the negative 2 squared first, then multiply it by 4, and then subtract it from 5. Should end up on that one with, whoops, negative 11, I believe. Yep, because that's going to be 16. Okay, same thing with this one. This wants you to take the 2k and put it in place of x. So to find m of 2k, I'm going to do 3 times 2k squared plus 4. And then I want to simplify that as far as I can. This, you've got to be careful of how you simplify that. Let me do that off to the side here. When I write 2k squared, remember what that literally means is 2k times 2k. So if you multiply those two things together, 2 and 2 make 4, and k times k make k squared. So when I simplify this, I'm going to end up with 3 times 4k squared, okay, and then plus the 4. And then I can put these two things together and make, that would be 12k squared plus 4. And then I can't go any further because I can't combine this 12k squared with this 4. They're not like terms, so I can't put them together. So this right here would just be my final answer, 12k squared plus 4. Okay, looking at number 7, based on the table below, find g of 5 and g of 6. So what that question is asking you is, what is the value of the function, and the function is this, when x equals 5 and then x equals 6. So I'm going to read across to where x equals 5 and then read the value of the function. And so I could say g of 5 is equal to 11, and then g of 6 would be equal to 13. And again, I took that from right here. There's g of 6 equal to 13. Okay, and then I threw an equation at you. Solve each of the equations, show your work. So in this one, the only thing I really need to get rid of is the 3/2. To get rid of a fraction, I would multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by 2 over 3. Multiply by 2 over 3. Over here, this is just going to cancel with that, and I'll be left with just x. When I go to do 9 times 2 over 3, remember what that means to do is 9 times 2 and then divided by 3. So that's 18 divided by 3, which is 6 for your final answer. Okay, I will pick up with the next page in the next video.